Well, hello, my friends, and welcome to early fall. We here in Southern California, I opened my kitchen door today, and it was a little cool, and that was very exciting. Although there's this kind of cosmic joke that happens because we have this, oh, autumn is here, and then we always have our hottest weather in September. So, it's a little like, don't get out your fall clothes yet. So uh, the changing in the environment, that's going to continue. So I have something kind of new I want to do with you today because I had what well, first of all, welcome. I don't know if there's anybody here who hasn't been here before. If you haven't been here before, would you wave your hand so I can just greet you? Okay, great, super. So this we'll see. Oh, are you new, Michael? Well, welcome. Yeah, happy to have you here. So what I want to share today is um, I've been working for a long time and just feeling into fear melters, which is part of what we do with our loop of awareness and with our sharing the integrity cards. When you're doing fear melters, in fact, let's just do a little brief. So the first one is oozing, and oozing is to counteract fight and to actually to shift from fight. So oozing you can have through your whole body. And my swapper actually assists me with oozing because it opens up that curved motion. And most of our, actually most of the dancing that I see today has that kind of, it's very, it's very angular. And so oozing, I think our bodies long for oozing. And then there's rooting. So rooting, you can feel the roots. I like to think of my fingers just extending and rooting down into the ground. And I like to think of roots coming up through my feet to really support me connecting to this vast ground that holds me, even if I'm wobbly. So letting yourself root, and that counteracts, I'm out of here. And then the freeze response that I think is very prevalent right now. It's in a kind of a, oh, and oh my God. And the antidote for freezing is wiggling. And that is probably the easiest move for us to make to shift out of fear. So find your most fun wiggling today. Like what's a part of you that maybe hasn't wiggled in a while? Like I can feel my shoulders are going, oh yeah, I haven't wiggled in a while. And what are different directions you can wiggle? Because there's the fish wiggle and there's the back and forth wiggle and there's the up and down wiggle. And so I like to get my whole body wiggling. And that in itself is incredibly refreshing. And then our faint, which so many people are in right now, is like the overwhelm and feeling drained. And then our love scoops are the fear melter, where you actually are reaching out, bringing in some love. Come on in, and you're giving it to yourself wherever you need it, and you're letting it land and you're letting yourself receive it, because that's sometimes people do what I call love windmills, and it's creating a lot of air around you, but it's not really bringing anything in where you can feel it. So that's great. We've been experimenting with those for several years, but it just occurred to me that, well, it's occurred to me for a while that when you, after a fear melter, you've liberated a lot of energy. And I'd like you to just notice that, like, I feel more energy moving through me. I feel more aliveness. I feel more presence. So what energy gets liberated? And so I'm experimenting with this, and I'm going to continue, but I want to try it out on you. And then I want to get feedback from you all and have you play with it. So from liberating fight with oozing, what then the move that I'd like you to make is to push out to the edges. It's like you've got fuzz or film on you, and you're pushing out so that you have all of the space around you. And you can do this standing as well, but I'd like you to really let your whole body go woof, like you're occupying your whole space in that push. And what I think that liberates is the ability to challenge. So oomph, that, and so that's the move, push. Um, that may not be quite the right word, but what I'm wanting is for you to really expand into your muchness, to expand into your full space. So that's one. And then the when you have rooted, excuse me, gotta have some water. Still have a little bit more dust out here than I would like. So when you've rooted, the energy that then becomes available to you is what I call readiness, or being ready, or readying. And the move that I think that you can get to create that is bouncing. So there's, I know I'm bouncing on my swapper, but you can also, I want to invite you, I'm going to just stand up here so you're going to see the middle of me, but I'd like to invite you to let yourself bounce so that you can feel your heels landing and getting that bounce through you. Because like when you see tennis players, that's the model that I like to use. They're ready to go in any direction. I was just watching the men's finals of the US Open over the weekend. And what was really clear is that they could go in any direction at any time. And we have that ability too, a readiness to meet life. So bouncing is the second move. And then freeze, when you wiggle, just let yourself wiggle again. And for me, what I was seeing and feeling opens up is sensing. You're going from freeze into space. So I'd like you, from your wiggling, I'd like you to let your body just sense what's around you. And you're not doing that. Aboriginals can sense miles through their feet. And I think we still have the ability to sense into the space around us. And then we can choose. It's also creating what I sometimes call a pause, a genuine pause. It's not a freeze, it's really a sensing into. So just let yourself experiment with that for a moment, of the sensing into. And then you can turn and move in any given direction when you have sensed into. So that's that one. And then what I want to use, so when you're doing love scoops, what I love, and we've done this for many years, is here I am, where you're occupying your space, and I'm so glad. So it's a different kind of a love scoop. So here I am, and really declaring, here I am. So a lot of today want to tuck yourself into a fort somewhere, but here I am, and then I'm so glad, and here you are, and I'm so glad, and here this is, and I'm so glad. So those are the 4 moves that we can add into, and I'm going to start adding into our fear melters. So that's push, bounce, sense, and here, or here I am, I'm so glad. So I wanted to share that with you. I was going to share it with you last week, but I got a little bit of vertigo, but I'm all better now, thank goodness. And so I'd love to have you practice that and play with it during the week. And then most of you are regulars, so come back next time and let me know what you discovered. And so that's my sharing for our fear melters and love scoops today. So I'd love to show the card for today. And I'd love for you to, as you're letting your body move in the way it wants to move, I'd like you to give attention to the collage and sensing into that, and then bringing that into your body and letting your body respond to what you're seeing. And then giving your attention back into the collage and seeing where your attention goes and what opens up. There's a lot of space in this one, and a lot of different levels. that where my eye and my awareness can go. And I'm realizing too that something that looked static is actually fluid in this. So as you're continuing to sense into yourself, here is the card for today, the invitation. I'm willing to give drops of love anywhere I need or want them. I'm willing to give drops of love anywhere I want or need them. And I'd like you to extend that to I'm willing to give drops of love anywhere it's needed or wanted. So that could be inside you, it could be around you, it could be what you can see, it could be sending it across the world. Giving drops of love, I think, is one of the most important things that we can do right now. So let yourself give drops of love to you, and you might want to add in any touch, letting your body respond to giving you drops of love. And then I'd like you to think of someone or some ones that you would like to give drops of love to. And you can do that with your consciousness. We know that your consciousness can travel around the world, and letting your drops of love go wherever you feel that they're wanted or needed. And you can actually, let's come on back to the big group, because there's one other aspect of this I'd like to share with you, which is I'd like you to actually imagine that you have a little elixir bottle that's full of really condensed love, and you could put into it some of the experiences that you've had where you felt especially cared for and welcomed. And you have that little bottle, and I'd like you to actually get a dropper. It has a dropper in it. And I'd like you to let yourself actually put drops of love wherever you need them. And then let your body respond to receiving that. And I was also thinking about anointing, that drops of love, you could send your drops of love out into the world. And then don't forget you, bring it back to you. So I've really found that drops of love, that intimate kind of attention, where I'm really sensing into where am I really wanting and needing that, and that I can feel. The way I experience this is I get warmer, I feel more flow in my body. I feel a kind of streaming. I sometimes describe it as champagne bubbles, like in my blood. I can feel that. So notice, how do you know that you've received love and that that's circulating in you? Because one of my intentions with our gathering is that we open up and give more descriptors to our inner landscape. Rather than I'm fine, I'm okay, yeah, I'm good, yeah, I'm okay. So that we can both be noticing the richness of our own insides, and also being able to share that and to receive with others. So just see if there's any place else that's wanting drops of love. Particularly give your drops of love to your eyes, because your eyes, you probably don't realize how many. I have these super eye drops that sting a little bit and then go poof, and my eyes feel like all cleaned. And so if you've been inundated with stuff coming into your eyes, make sure that you give drops of love to your eyes, around your eyes. The other place is your jaw, because that is not only the strongest muscle in our body, but it's the one that sort of the last place that we can contain before we blurt, before we, say something like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And so we carry a lot of tension in our jaws. And so you might want to, and actually get your bottle and get a drop of love, and you apply it to your jaws. And that could be combined with just letting your face move, because most of us get frozen face too with, because that's a place that can freeze also, like, and then carry that. So really giving attention to your face, I think will be very refreshing for you. Okay, so let me also then go now to our Presence Connect play and see what we've got for today. Presence says appreciate. So appreciate is an underutilized and magical move that we can make, that has, in my opinion, no downsides and plenty of benefits. So appreciating, I like to appreciate, my intention is to appreciate me and others as evolving works of art. But the whole act of appreciating is giving your sensitive awareness to. So it's kind of like the drops of love. So that if you're giving your sensitive awareness to someplace in your body, I find that that part of me just kind of blooms and opens up. So I'd love for you to let yourself appreciate you. And then we'll use that with loop of awareness, and then appreciate someone in the group, and then appreciate you, always coming back to you, because we forget to give ourselves as much appreciation as we do others. And then giving your sensitive awareness to something else going on around you. And then back to you. And the word that was coming to me is soften. When I appreciate, I experience a softening. And when I appreciate others, I also experience them softening. So if I'm, I'm getting into some kind of a hassle, or I'm wanting to have people open up to something that I want to share with them, if I come at them with, facts, and here's how you should do it, and here's what I'm noticing, what I usually get is just, flat face. But if I'm genuinely appreciating, and I come into the interaction with appreciating, there's this kind of softening, which then allows for both of us to be present, and then we can connect. So, and appreciating is also an antidote to criticism. So, most of what people say to themselves or how they treat themselves is critically. And so, if you notice yourself criticizing yourself or beating up on you, the antidote is not to beat up on yourself for beating up on yourself. It's to shift as soon as possible to appreciating. So appreciating is an incredible, valuable skill to develop, both for ourselves and in our relationship with others. So connect is give attention to where others' body and breath is open. So most of the time we're looking for what's wrong. And what if you were looking for and open to what's open? So particularly breath. Breath is a great way to notice whether someone is open or closed. And then if you added your drops of love to what you're noticing, and then you bring that back to you, I'd like you to just notice if your breath opens, if another person's breath opens. So you can look at a person and say, I notice they're not breathing. So come back to you and open your own breathing, and then let your attention go back to them, and just notice if something has shifted in that interchange. Wonderful. Now, breathing, what I found is that breathing is kind of impossible to notice in others if I'm not breathing. So if you're looking and going, I'm not seeing anything, there's nothing going on up there, come back to you and open your own breathing and appreciate yourself for a moment, and then let your attention shift. And that kind of magical flow of, if I open, that invites others to open. But, and if I'm closed, that invites others to, kind of go into fight or freeze. Oh, and then play. Play says chunk. And that's something that's especially useful if you're facilitating or giving directions. I didn't know if you have any friends who say, hey, how am I supposed to get to your house? So I say, well, first set your, speedometer. So, because it's 18.2 miles to my house, and you want to make sure, and they're giving you all of this detail about, and you're trying to write it down. So chunking is the skill of saying one thing and letting it land, and then saying another thing and letting it land, which is in contrast to the way that I used to facilitate. I would say, okay, now I have a room full of 100 people. So I'd like you to all split up. Some of you go over there and some of you go over there. And then for the activity, we're going to have you all move, and then we're going to have you all move. And then after you've moved, and I would just go on. And when I would finally look out, people would be like, what is this about? So chunking. And do you have a friend also where you're getting together and you'd like to share something going on for you, but they just go on and on and on? So chunking is the allows people to receive. It's an aspect of tossing. So for you to practice this, I'd like you, and we're going to keep you muted, but I'd like you to just describe what's going on for you right now in one out breath. So I'm going to do this too. So what I'm noticing is that I still have itchy armpits from my rash, and a little itchy in other places, and I'm feeling quite tingly. So a chunk should be no more than one out breath. And I'd love to have you play with that and see if that enhances your connections with others and your ability to play with others, rather than, getting on a runaway horse. I don't know if you've ever been on a runaway horse, but you've probably seen a movie with a runaway horse. So chunk. Yeah, it doesn't mean you have to be chunky, but that your words can be. All right, my friends. Well, thank you for experimenting with me today, and thank you for exploring. And you're welcome to stay and play with each other, and share what's going on for you, questions you've got. If you're new, please let us welcome you. And this is my favorite thing that I do all week, and I'm so glad to do it on Monday, because for me, it sets up this blueprint for the week of playing and experimenting and sharing love in the world. So I invite you to let yourself share love in the world and let love come to you to receive. All right. Thank you. And until next time, bye now.